Hi everyone, Dr. Remy from Pain Free and Fit and Posturesize. Today we've got a great video tutorial on how to train your shoulders as heavy as you want in the gym without aggravating your spondylolisthesis in your lower back or neck. Hope you enjoy. So, a lot of you out there with spondylolisthesis are looking to work out without aggravating your pains. Shoulder training is a prime example of exercises that typically irritate spondylolisthesis, not only in my patients and my clients, but in many of you out there as well. If we perform basic exercises such as an overhead press, whether we're at a machine or a bar using bells, as we press upwards, there's a tendency to extend or tilt our heads back or our lower backs backward as our shoulders become weak later on in the set. As we're fighting for those last few reps and our shoulders fatigue, we're trying to recruit more chest muscle to help finish the motion. And because of the mechanical advantage of leaning backwards, we can recruit more chest muscle. This causes us to want to lean backwards to finish the motion in the press. Unfortunately, when we lean backwards, both in the neck and the lower back, that creates a compression on the back of our spine. And remember, spondylolisthesis is a problem where the vertebra has actually slipped forward, or in some cases actually backwards, called a retrolithesis. And as it comes forward, the back portion of the spine, the facet joints, become compressed if there's any arthritis in there, which is typical with a lot of people with spondylolisthesis. That can become aggravated. The inside lining of the joint, the synovium, become entrapped and inflamed, called synovitis, also common with spondylolisthesis. The sacroiliac joints get compressed, and the back portion of the disc gets compressed. If you have degenerative disc disease associated with spondylolisthesis, or herniation or bulge or annular tearing in your discs, that's all going to irritate it as you lean back. So the key here is we want to maintain a neutral spine so that we avoid that extension stress with shoulder training. That not only goes on with overhead presses, but also with typical shoulder exercises such as upright rows. As we're fighting for that last little bit of motion, it's typical to get a little extension in because we're going to use our lat and our rhomboid and trap muscles to try to finish the motion as opposed to using more deltoid to come up. Same thing with cleans. As we come up, you'll notice people that clean, whether it's a hang clean or a full clean, as they come up, there's going to be extension to get the bells or the bar in that position. Extension is going to damage spondylolisthesis. If we're doing classic shoulder isolation work like lateral raises, the higher that we go, the more extension has a tendency to come into the exercise and irritate that spondylolisthesis. So we want to check two things to avoid ourselves irritating our shoulders while we're training with spondylolisthesis. Number one, we want to make sure we're holding our spine, whether the lower back or the neck, in a neutral position. And remember, that's unique for you as an individual. A neutral spine position for me is different from you or anyone else that's out there, because we all have our own unique posture and movement and stability issues. Some people are going to have a certain muscle imbalance affecting their lower back or neck, or posture issue with the shoulder blade or the head versus someone else. So if you haven't done yet, I invite you to go to either the Posturesize website or the Pain Free and Fit website. Take our free body analysis there. Learn what your unique issues are so you can correct and hold yourself in a correct neutral spine while you're doing these exercises. So back to how we're going to modify these exercises to avoid that extension part with shoulder training. Pretty simple. Let's make sure that we switch off from two arms to a one-arm press. When I press with one arm overhead, there's a lot less tendency to extend, but more of a tendency to lean sideways to finish the rep. Now, even if you're holding really great form and avoiding that sideways lean, it helps to take the extension part out of it, especially if you have a nice wide base of support. As you press overhead, you're going to notice you have a lot more stability both with the head and the neck. If anything, you're going to cheat sideways. You're not going to cheat by leaning backwards. Same thing with an upright row or clean. If we're using a one-arm motion coming up, we have a tendency, because the weight is on one side, to stabilize ourselves more laterally, and there's less of a chance to move backwards with that. You'll notice with me, it's very simple to hold my posture in this position as opposed to two-handed, because I'm fighting against a lateral stability more than a front to back or sagittal stability issue. If we want to train isolation in our shoulders, we can do a one-arm lateral raise. Same thing. We're going to be fighting a sideways stress more than a front to back stress, and I can go with a nice isolated motion without irritating extension as I perform my spondylolisthesis. Another great exercise is done laying down in terms of that lateral raise, where we're going to be using isolation to do a one-arm lateral raise. This is a great way to keep extension stress out. We can even use that for a sideways shoulder pressing motion up and down. These exercises are out of our brand new spondylolisthesis program, our fast track method to getting out of pain and getting into shape. That will be coming out in July on our website. You can check out more exercises there if you'd like. So let's keep in mind these ideas for spondylo. Learn what your neutral spine position is. Learn what type of range of motion is possible with your spondylolisthesis so you don't irritate yourself. And let's start plugging in some of these one-armed unilateral exercises which have a lot more of a lateral stability, which is a lot safer for spondylolisthesis and helping us to avoid that extension stress or front and back stability that so many of us have trouble with as we're trying to finish our reps and get the most out of our workouts. Hey, if you like what we're talking about here and would like to help me share it with others, give me a thumbs up below. If you have questions or comments, please leave them. If there's a topic you'd like to have answered concerning your training, your pain-free and fit fitness, please leave it. I'm always looking for great ideas to share with you, and your ideas, your input is very important. So if you have a question, if you have a topic, let me know. Leave it in the questions and comments below. I'll do my best to create a video for you, answer that and more, so we can all start living a pain-free and fit lifestyle.